So Joel Tomkins with us now from Catalan Dragons, and I'd have to say, major surgery. I mean, we were doing a squad review, 25 to 26 last night, 13 new faces. How are they settling in, and what's the combinations looking like?
It's massive changes for us as a squad and as a club, really. A brand new recruitment strategy. And when I got the job last year and Steve left the club, I was kind of given a brief that we're going to work to a different salary cap this year, and the limit that I had to work to, and so we had to come up with a way that we were going to recruit and still bring in quality, but not at the same price. So basically, mate, we've gone out and we've recruited in a different way. We're not using a marquee player, and we're well under cap, but we're looking at younger guys who's on the way up in their careers. We're looking at guys who might want to come over for 2 or 3 years, and they might then want to go back to the NRL. And what we're going to lose in experience, I think we'll gain in enthusiasm. That's what I've seen in the pre-season. We've had a long pre-season. We started the start of November, and the boys were all there on day one. And what I've seen up to now is a group of guys who are really committed to the cause, and they want to make an impact this year.
You haven't done commentators any favours though, have you? Because some of these names are a bit tongue tiers, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And there'll be a lot of players who pundits and supporters won't know who they are. They won't have seen much of them in the past. We've got guys who's come from Queensland Cup, New South Wales Cup. Got Phoenix who's played majority of his career at championship level. But that's exciting for us. We're an unknown quantity this year to a lot of people, and a little bit to ourselves. We're happy with what we've done in pre-season, but until you kick off the season, you don't really know where you're at. So we're excited for it.
I want to pick up on that, if I may, an unknown quantity. We said something similar, because you're right. There's a lot of young, hungry Queensland Cuppers that have come in. I mean, don't get me wrong, Toby Sexton, what a signing that is. That could be explosive.
Yeah.
I mean, we gave Luke a load of raps last year because let's be fair, Luke Keary was a player of real significance in the game of rugby league, but it didn't work out. Toby's a different gravy. He's a younger player. He's on the way up. Him and Lewis Dodd, that combination, out with Charlie behind him, that could be incredible.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Plus we got DaCosta and Lehman at 9 there, who constant threat from 9, and then Garcia will play 13 for us. So
his rightful position.
Yeah, the position that he's played most of his career. It was we were gutted to lose Ollie, absolutely gutted. But bringing Cruz in and looking at the balance of our squad, it probably gives us a different dynamic now and a different threat, especially attacking wise. We lose a lot of qualities by losing Ollie as well, but we'll move Benny back into that 13 role, and then he'll work with that spine. But going back to your point there, Toby and Lewis have been fantastic from day one. They've really shown why they're a top quality 6 and 7, and Toby's obviously just here for 1 year, and Lewis will be here longer term, but I'm excited to see what they can do together for 12 months. And
from a coach's perspective, it wasn't Lewis's fault what happened down at South, but a point to prove. He'll want to prove a lot of doubters wrong, won't he, Lewis Dodd?
He had a rough year last year.
He did, didn't he?
He came in for a lot of criticism, a lot of it undue, really, and I think it's shown the character of him, the way he's come in day one, really positive, really enthusiastic, and he's motivated now to prove himself. People have got short memories. He's the player he was when he was at St Helens before he left. He's a special talent, and you forget how young he is. He's still only 24 years old, so he's got maybe 10 years in front of him as a top quality Super League player, and hopefully it's at Catalan.
And let's be honest, you've got other young players as well. Wilson brought in from Salford, which of course with Cruz coming in, he's going to have to maybe fight a little harder for a spot. And of course, Spiro Bichet last year, who probably played more than perhaps Catalan would have expected, but that'll do him good down the track, won't it? So it's not just these ones you've brought in, it's the underbelly as well. There's some real promising talent there.
Yeah, a lot of the young lads, with the situation we found ourselves in last year, Guillermo's probably the best example. Played a lot more games than he was probably prepared for and he was probably ready for. He's a young kid, Guillermo still, and some other guys as well, Clement Martin, Leo Derolator. They're probably a little bit unfair chucking him in the situations that we did and some of the games that we did, but basically we had no other options, and they held the gloves up and they had a dig. I think they'll be better for that experience now. We've got a pretty settled kind of 18, 19 man squad there, and some of those boys will be pushing for places. And if they're ready to play, we'll play them as well. I think taking that pressure off them, so they're not expected to play week in, week out, will actually be a good thing for them.
And before I let you go, you talk of progression. Frank Maria, who's, let's be fair, has been at Catalan for many years. He's had to wait his chance. He's been given 11, I think it is, on his back this year. You know, it's nice to see that, isn't it, when a club develops a player and the time comes, and the time is now for him.
It is. Unfortunately, Frankie's just had a back operation, so he's going to be out for 12 weeks. But,
I didn't know that.
No, I think it was announced yesterday, but Frankie's you've hit the nail on the head. He's a prime example of somebody who's had to bide his time. He's probably been sat behind kind of overseas players for a number of years, and just what I saw from him in pre-season, I thought he really deserved that number 11 jersey. He's had a back surgery. He's going to be out for 12 weeks, but he'll be chomping at the bit in 12 weeks' time. Hopefully Frank can be the blueprint for a lot more young kids, because there's probably been a bit of a change of the guard with a lot of the French boys who left last year, and then there's a little bit of a gap to the younger boys, 6-7 year gap to these younger boys. They're all around 20, these young French boys who's coming through now. But give them a season or two and they'll be ready to take over.
Well, I'm fascinated to watch your Catalan Dragons. As you say, unknown quantity. We're going to find out in the first 5 rounds what you're about. You've got it all on, because I think the race for 6 this year is going to be fascinating. You're going to have to leapfrog some teams to get in there. Your first full-time head coach job. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, mate, and hopefully we can get a strong Catalan Dragons back on the field in 2026. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.